Hello, welcome back. We are still here for day 3 of the 20th annual Player Networking event, coming to you live from Miami. You've been hearing for the last 3 days that the year 20 for Player Networking event saw an expansion of the footprint of the event, of the impact of the event, and of the reach. And I've got these two amazing gentlemen sitting with me that are going to talk very specifically about one particular area that this year was brought into the Player Networking event under the umbrella, and y'all are killing it. You have been killing it today. So I've got Mr. Bubba Gaeddert. Y'all can see what he's got for the game. It's clear. Who is at Varsity Esports Foundation.
That's correct.
Which is a nonprofit that assists schools with getting funding for esports education, which I think is awesome.
Thank you, yeah.
And we've got Brian Mirakian, no relation to Game of Thrones, who works at Populous, which is a global architectural design firm that has a big role and an emerging role in the esports industry. So gentlemen, tell us what is happening today specifically at P&E that you all are so essential to.
Oh, well, essential. Well, we're a part of something big, and we're just a small part, which is great. But it's been fun. The past 3 days, we've been able to bring in students from all over the Miami area, and we've been doing some STEM learning with them. We've also been doing some gaming, so that we've had Microsoft Store here. We've had our partners with Midwest Esports running gaming events. We've had some robotics happening. We've had some really great speakers that have talked about STEM learning and STEM opportunities in careers. And that's been happening for 3 days. And then right now, going on in the other room is a Madden tournament, because we're at the NFL. So
I mean, Madden, it just makes sense.
Right. So football's happening. And so there's some kids finishing up, and they're playing with some NFL players, which is really cool. And man, I'm pretty pumped. It's about to end. We're going to go back there, and we're going to award some prizes to these kids.
Oh, that sounds so exciting. So Brian, tell us what Populous and what your role is in being a part of this amazing opportunity for these kids to be kind of introduced to esports and what the possibilities of that brings to them.
Yeah, well, a lot of possibilities. And I think what's super exciting is, esports is a global phenomenon. It's one of the most dynamic, forces to enter into the entertainment industry that we've seen. We've been fortunate. Our practice is based around designing venues, where sports is played, traditional sports is played, and we've been very fortunate to have, planned and managed the Super Bowl, for the last 30 plus years, and so we have a whole team down here. But we've been involved in the NFL and Major League Baseball and major arenas. But what we've seen is the live events, the things that Bubba is producing, has really just taken off, and so my responsibility is to lead our practice around the design of these future venues, and we're designing venues now for professional teams, but we're really excited to see what's going to happen at the grassroots level, and how are these kids that want to play the games, and they are playing the games, how do we give them the places they can come and be together? They can share these experiences. They can play together if they're just, in a youth tournament, or they can play with an NFL player like they're doing here today. And what can they do today, but what are they going to do 5 and 10 years from now? And I think there's a tremendous amount of excitement of what this growth opportunity is, and we're very fortunate to be right in the middle of it. So it's a lot of fun.
I think it's so awesome. We were talking before we got started with the broadcast, and Bubba said the future of esports is now. And I think it's somewhat cliche, but it's true. That is where we are. You all were throwing out these stats about how esports is almost like the silent killer of traditional sports, if so to speak, because it is attracting global audiences on a scale that has never been seen before in traditional sports. And I think it's so amazing that what you do through your foundation, and definitely what you're doing, Brian, at Populous with creating these spaces for these esports athletes to come together, it introduces sports on a different level. It's all about innovation and planning for the success, for their ultimate success, and for making it so much more accessible to kids that probably wouldn't have even considered that this is an opportunity for them. So tell me what it feels like to kind of be in this space today, even over these 3 days, with these young people. I'm sure you've probably had moments, especially you, Bubba, of seeing the light bulb turn on with them, and they're recognizing this is a thing, this is something that I can do, and then to have the conversation with Brian and say, you can design I can do the design thing, or I can even be the athlete that the people are coming to watch. It is so amazing. So talk a little bit about what that experiences have been like for both of you personally, just to be here at P&E with these young people.
Yeah, everywhere I go across the country, it's always a 180. Like you're saying, the light bulb, a 180 is like video games and schools and playing.
And it's serious? I can be serious?
Yeah. So we as a society tend to perpetuate, video games, bad, stay in the basement, drink your Red Bull, eat your Doritos. What's fun is you get kids into a safe environment like here at P&E, or you do it at schools like we're doing with 6,000 different schools, high schools, middle schools, colleges across the country. And we get them in organized play with a teacher, with an adult, safe environment, internet safety. We're doing things like cyberbullying, digital citizenship, mental health, healthy habits. All these things are important to be proactive about.
Yes.
So coming here and doing organized play and also playing with athletes is also pretty cool. But giving them the opportunity to sit down and learn about STEM careers, and then saying all those things we talked about, like there's not just playing games and there's not just sports. And you said something interesting about like the killer of traditional sports. What's great about this, actually what we know is 80% of students play video games.
Yes.
So 80% of students play video games. So instead of saying stay in the basement, let's get you together, organize play together in a safe environment, and meet the kids where they are.
Yeah. I love that.
I think it's really exciting, too, because we talk all the time about esports and gaming. It's an access point into so many other wonderful things educationally. We do a lot of work right now in the university space, frankly, and universities really have become major proponents of esports because they're starting scholarship programs.
Yeah.
These kids that are playing in these local tournaments have opportunities now to earn a scholarship at major universities. You could go to Butler University. Right now we're designing an esports venue at Butler University, and it's really all about bringing this next generation of students onto their campus. And so, it's really given people not only academic opportunities, but, these kids, some of them can be professional players. And the reality is that, they may come from an event like we saw today. I'll tell you what, you can go play a Fortnite tournament and win $4 million, as a prize. That's pretty remarkable, and mom and dad could get around that pretty easily. I would think.
More than it's
pretty exciting to see, and again, as the growth opportunity continues to, we're very formational right now. We are still at very early days, but there are so many opportunities that are now, stemming from sports and gaming, and again, we're very excited to see where it goes.
Moniek, the talk about scholarship is really good because these students that we actually working with, this pipeline we're creating is around this pipeline from us working with YMCAs in the spaces, middle schools, high schools, colleges to pro. This pipeline of giving them the opportunity is huge. However, what's fun that I get to do is I get to work with these Title I and low income and free reduced schools that need support, and they have a barrier because sometimes they don't have funding. So when you said that in the opening part, yes, grants. We do about $10,000 in grants a semester right now, but we're always looking for sponsors to help us raise that fund so we can get more access. But we actually give away about $300,000 in scholarships a year for students who compete in esports at the high school level to go to any college they want. So we work with a lot of partners that help provide those scholarships. So colleges that Brian's working with to get the esport arenas into their facilities, or esport arenas at a professional level, those kids get to see that, just like they get to see when I want to be like X player when I grow up. They get to see that same thing watching a stream online or watching a big event online.
I love that you all are using words like tournament and scholarship, and even before we started league. Those are traditionally commonly said sports words, and I think it's so amazing that it represents this transition that the sports industry is going through. We're getting there and we're pushing there, and I love that you said, Brian, like this is the beginning. Even with the significant impact that esports already has, this is just the beginning. And I think it's so amazing that you all are here to introduce it to these particular group of young people at a traditionally sports-focused event. And I love what you said this earlier, Bubba. It's not just the little kids. It's the big kids, the adults. Some of the athletes are in there as well. So it's changing mindsets and changing perspectives about possibility, which is in keeping with what P&E is designed to do. Introduce, when the game is done, when you're done on the field, maybe you transition to a virtual field.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Or maybe you partner with a brand. Maybe you start a league. Like the opportunities are truly endless here, and it's just the beginning.
I'll throw out I like what you said, because the big kid thing is this free curriculum we're putting out with Microsoft Education to all these schools. They're using it it's called gaming concepts, and they use it as a tool, gaming, to bring kids in as access and using the lens of esports. But they're learning healthy habits, they're learning how to build a computer, they're learning interpersonal communication. But this STEM accredited curriculum is really helpful for the students because the teachers teach it. And what's really great about the data we have, the GPA for these kids is going up by 1.7 when they participate, and attendance is 10% higher. So kids not only are coming to school, it's just like, I played football in high school. I want to get good grades so I could suit out, right? So this same thing, I want to do good in my schooling and have good grades so I can play on the team. The byproduct of this is really fun because now the kids aren't playing at home alone. They're playing with a group, but now they're eating dinner with their families.
Yeah.
They're eating dinner, they're actually interacting with their families. Because I'm going to play, but I'm going to play at school with my friends, an after-school program, rather than I'm going to stay all night. Yeah. So, and that whole curriculum is also developed around healthy habits. So doing actual traditional sports is actually a component. Like, being outside and being healthy is part of esports. Like, you have to have that. Professional teams, I know you're going to talk about. Yeah. Professional teams have big houses full of players with a chef and a personal trainer, and they have a whole training facility. So it's there, and you're seeing that at a high level.
It's really exciting too, and I think there may be a perception around what an esports competitor is. The reality is they are high performance athletes, and the ones that are competing at the highest levels, they are truly high performance athletes, and the type of mental acuity, the type of hand-eye coordination, the type of discipline, the type of training regimen they go through is every bit what a professional athlete goes through, and frankly, there's a lot of components of sports science, and eating right. You mentioned nutrition, sleeping, brain science. There's all sorts of things that go into building this type of athlete that can compete on that type of stage. And so it's truly remarkable to see these we're looking at we're watching youth athletes here competing, but they do again have that ability to ladder up if they want to that professional level, some of them, and when you get to that point and you step onto a stage, in some cases in the championship events, in China, for instance, League of Legends Championship, there's 70,000 people in a stadium watching you play. And 100+ million people watching you globally online. Exactly. We're talking about the Super Bowl of esports and their competitors on a stage that are competing at that level. So it really is remarkable. And I go back again to kind of some of the benefits at a youth level. One of the things that we find is that it's a great opportunity for a lot of these kids to socialize and create great social skills and have an opportunity to be together, right? And gaming does that, and we see that as a great benefit along with all the other things academically as well too. That's a great byproduct.
We don't have to reinvent the wheel because traditional sports is doing this already. To allude to what you're talking about, traditional sports is doing this. So what better than to be at an event like this, P&E, where we're interacting with traditional sport superstars and saying the same thing. Tournament, healthy habits, all this. We're talking about it already. So it's like you said earlier, sports and esports, it's the same thing. It's just the viewpoint and the vantage and where you are, in the spectrum of understanding it. And so I think really we're all trying to amass awareness about the things we're passionate about so people can have a conversation.
Well, I love you were both kind of pulling out where those soft skills. And it's the same thing, the mental toughness, that ability to critically think in the moment, the discipline. These esports athletes start to develop those skills, interpersonal skills. They develop those skills as they're going through programs like what you all are doing and coming to events like this. And that's also what P&E is for the traditional athletes. So it's giving them that opportunity to learn how to critically think, how to network, how to talk about themselves, how to interact with people. It's so amazing just to see the parallels. I think it's so awesome what you all are doing. Thank you for being here, for being a part of the innovation of P&E as a brand, because that's what this year represented. It spread out, it expanded, it reached into a lot of different areas that they hadn't touched before. And the fact that you all represent that and you exactly embodied that in what you are doing, I think is just so awesome. And it was divine that you got to be here today. It's so amazing. So thank you all so much.
Thank you.
So Brian, please let our viewers know where they can find out more about Populous. And then Bubba, definitely let our viewers know where they can find out more about your foundation and how they can support as well.
Go to populous.com. We have a great website, and you know, that's really the best place for you to see our work. And go to YouTube. You can see, you know, Google Fusion Arena. You know, you can check out some of the work that's happening in Philadelphia right now, and that's a fantastic project. It's already broken ground and will be, you know, open and operational in 2021 for the Philadelphia Fusion Overwatch team. And so very exciting, but you know, go check out our website and you can learn more there.
Yes, definitely. Bubba?
Well, I'm going to go to populous.com first and check out really cool videos.
See what they're doing, exactly.
It's really cool. We love sponsorship from anyone that watches this video here or from the future with our curriculum, with our support of schools, helping kids that don't have any belonging. We want to support that in all our initiatives around digital citizenship. And you can donate at varsityesportsfoundation.org.
Thank you, gentlemen, so very much. The work that you were doing is just awesome, and it was just so fortuitous that you all are here today with these young people, just like P&E is doing with the athletes, and just showing them the possibility. What now is now, but you could plan to succeed in the future, and I think that is so awesome what you are doing. So thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. Definitely check out both of these amazing, great organizations. Stay tuned for even more coming to you from day 3 of the 20th Annual Player Networking event. I'm Moniek, that's Brian, that's Bubba, and we will catch you all later. Bye.
Let the show begin.